Hello, my name is Rebecca, also known as Forest Minish, and today I'll be giving you a tour of Harperia, my Animal Crossing New Horizons island. Before we start, if you want to visit my island, I'll put the dream address code here on the screen so that you can explore it at your own pace. Even though I've been playing New Horizons since March 2020, I recently decided to completely flatten my island and build it from scratch, and it has been the best decision. So let's take a tour and you can see how I decorated Harperia. I have a few friends here that will be helping me show off the island today, and we are going to start off in the area in front of Resident Services. We'll pass by this area again, but this is kind of the center point of a few different spots with plenty of places to sit or lounge around and enjoy the day. The fountain here is the center point right between the plaza and the beach. There's a spot set up here for a villager to paint the scenery. And I love this blanket pattern here for a nice relaxing spot for a villager to lay down. Maybe they're working on their laptop or they're reading a book, just getting some stuff done outdoors on a beautiful day. If we go north from Resident Services, we come to the Farmers Market area, which is actually one of the last things I built on this island. I wanted to include a few different types of stalls that villagers can buy from with lots of vendors set up selling their goods, including this one for the Roost when they want to have a coffee on the go. Maybe Brewster has an employee who comes to the market each Sunday to sell samples of the Roost coffee, and villagers can sit down to have a drink or maybe even grab a coffee to go while they do the rest of their market shopping. And there's other stalls for fresh fruit and vegetables, baked goods, even a little flower shop. Villagers can buy a bouquet of flowers here. And then after a little bit of shopping, there's a spot for them to sit down, maybe enjoy the delicious treats they bought, and spend some time chatting with their friends. Behind the farmers market is a little farm area where the vendors can get many of their fresh produce from, like pumpkins and other vegetables. Even though my island is best viewed in the springtime, I kind of get some autumn vibes from this part, which is great because autumn is my favorite season. I love having the pick your own pumpkin patch, and I love that so many types of vegetables were added in the update to this game. I remember when we had to used to get creative with decorating to use items that looked like vegetables from a farm, and now we can actually plant things like tomatoes and wheat. And of course, I had to put a little bunny rabbit here trying to get to the carrot garden. It's so cute. The one thing I kept from my old island build was this heart pond because it was really intricate to create. I used a tutorial to make it, and I just thought it was so cute. It's tucked away on the very top right corner of my island, and it is a bit hidden away, so it's kind of like a secret hideaway spot. Maybe for lovers who want to run away if they want to spend some time together and don't want to be found. Next to the market area is the Nook's Cranny and Able Sister shops. I really like how I designed this to be on the lower level, so you have to walk down a slope to get to it. It just looks really nice to me. Next to Abel's Sister is a bigger flower shop. We saw a stall for it at the farmer's market, so I like to think this is the full shop, and they sell as a vendor at the market on certain days. I just love flowers so much, and I like to decorate with them as much as possible. And nearby is a little marine biology research setup on the rocks. I loved filling this spot with different fossils and sea creatures to make it look like a mini lab setup. Maybe one of the villagers is a scientist or oceanology researcher studying marine life on the island. South of the shops is one of my two neighborhoods. This one is like a little fishing village surrounded by rivers. The villagers here have boats, fishing gear, and other things to relax around the water. The villagers who live here are Bee, Shep, Olivia, and Pearl, so 2 dogs and 2 cats. And I think these villagers might like to spend a lot of time outdoors and by the water, just enjoying the day. And if we go down here, there's an extended boardwalk area that goes right out onto the beach, kind of serving as a spot for villagers to dock their boats or go out on a fishing trip. And on the island dock that extends into the water here, I have all of my villagers' names in chalk as if they wrote it themselves in different colors and handwriting styles. It does take up a lot of pattern spots, 11 to be exact, but I think it's worth it because it just adds a lot of personality, in my opinion. And then going over here to the other side, I just like to imagine my villagers getting ready to go out on a journey at sea. Maybe they hang out here waiting for someone to come back from an island tour. They can take a look out into the ocean using the viewfinder here. It's just a really nice spot overall. On the beach in front of Resident Services is an area for kids to play. There's things to sit on and climb on. They can draw pictures in the sand and play in the water. It's not a huge beach, but on the other side, I put a volleyball court. I wish that we could actually play volleyball in the game. That would be so much fun. There's also plenty of seating to watch everything that's going on, and of course, since it's right below Resident Services, it is a great hangout place for villagers to do lots of different sorts of things. Now we're going to go back over to the west side of the island near the airport. I have my rock garden behind my house in this wooded area. It took forever to get the rocks to spawn here, and I've seen a lot of builds where the rocks are in a circle or in a line. To me, that's super impressive, and I admire the patience it must have taken to do that. For me, I wanted to do it a little bit differently, but I do still have them around each other in the same general area to make kind of a foresty type of quarry. I like to think of it as a quiet, secluded spot to relax, and I could totally imagine my villagers doing some meditation here, listening to all of the natural sounds and whatnot. I love this space so much. And across the bridge here is my campsite. Looks like there's no villager visiting here today, but I have plenty of amenities set up here for campers when they want to spend a night on Harperia, like hammocks. There's a grill, there's a campfire, some extra tents, and a few places to sit by the water. There's even a little private area below it for rinsing off with showers after swimming in the ocean or getting covered in sand. I tried to make it as practical as possible, like a real campsite in a beachy area, and I hope that it feels nice and welcoming. Next, we have my museum area, which might be what I'm most proud of making. I decided to make a butterfly garden using bushes and flowers in the shape of a butterfly. Since it uses azaleas, my island is best viewed in late April when those are in bloom, but I think it looks nice in any time of the year. And I said it before and I'll say it again, I absolutely love decorating with flowers, so I will use any excuse to breed hybrids and put them all over, so this was the perfect way to do so in my opinion. One area I wish I could build up more but don't really have enough room for is my secret beach. I wish I could do a little bit more with it, maybe I still will add something. There's a sign to warn villagers of the dangers of pirates, and also some treasure for anyone brave enough to venture out far enough. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for a secret beach with such little space to work with. I would love to hear some of your ideas and how I can make this better. Now, if we go left of resident services, directly north of the airport is the second neighborhood. I actually call this the Gayborhood because each house is themed with a different color of the rainbow. Like Poppy's is decorated red with lots of red flowers, apple trees, red mushrooms, stuff like that. Over here, Fauna, hers is orange, so I added a lot of orange items, flowers, orange trees, and like a little carrot garden here. Of course, since Maple is a bear, I assume she loves honey, so I made her house themed yellow with some honeybees, some golden flowers, some yellow mushrooms, things like that. Now, Lolly is my favorite villager, and my headcanon for her is that she is a gardener with a green thumb. So I decorated her house with lots of greenery, lots of plants. I really love her home. It looks so cozy. Back here is Wolfgang's house. Since he is a blue wolf, his house has lots of blue decorations. And I like to pretend that he is a tortured poet who spends his days writing. Maybe he's writing letters or working on writing a book. He seems like he would be a scholar to me. I don't know why. That's just my headcanon for him. You can see the museum from this bridge. And then finally, Whitney has a witchy purple theme around her house. She definitely seems like the type that would be into astrology or horoscopes. I don't know why, so I just made her space look like that. We skipped over my house earlier, so let's go back to it. I have a garden atop of the hill here that I can go to tend flowers and plants. I like that it's a bit elevated. To me, it looks really nice up here. It's a little bit different. And if we go inside, I used some of the pillars and countertops from the Happy Home Paradise expansion to decorate many of the rooms, like the living room, for example. I think it's a great way to divide up the rooms to make them a little bit more interesting. I think you can do a little bit more to make it look cozier like that, rather than just a regular square room. So you'll see that a few times as we go to the different rooms in my house. But this first room is just the general living room area, with a few couches, a TV, some shelves, just general decorations here. Back here is my bedroom. It's one of my favorite spots on the entire island. It's so cozy, and it reminds me a lot of my actual childhood bedroom. I had a very similar shade of green on my walls when I was a kid. I think I would actually want to live here. It really fits my own personal vibe, as a bedroom should. I think the posters are cute, the record player, the fish. I really like my bedroom. If we go back, the first side room is the kitchen, which I am super proud of how I decorated this. I love all of the food items that were added into one of the game's later updates. It really adds a sense of realism to how a kitchen should look. And I could totally imagine sitting there at the table, eating breakfast in the morning, maybe eating a home-cooked meal. And the fact that we can put an accent wall on makes decorating even better. I think it definitely spices up the room and makes it really pleasing to look at. The second side room is a bathroom/laundry room. Again, using the extra walls and pillars really helps to divide up the room and make it more interesting than just a normal square room. I think it makes this type of double-purpose room a little bit more realistic. I have the bath part separated so that it's a little bit more private. And I love how the curtains can actually open and close like this. I think it can be hard to make effective use of these small rooms, so I hope I did a good job here with this one. And of course, I love the little cat in the window pattern there. I just love that. My basement is a cozy hangout room for gaming and listening to music. Obviously, I have all of the Taylor Swift albums hanging up, just like how I have in my actual room in real life. 10 more pattern slots for that. Ugh, I wish I had more. There's a spot for live streaming and for playing retro games on a CRT. Two things I love to do for fun. I think if I actually lived here, it would be a lot of spending time in this room. The lighting here is just so cozy, and I could definitely see a bunch of friends hanging out here playing games together. Finally, upstairs is the most recent room I made. It used to be a library up here, but it felt a little boring to me, so I ended up turning it into a witchcraft-themed room. I've been really into this aesthetic lately, and I wanted to make use of some of the more interesting items in the game, like the cauldron and the moon chair. I just love how it looks. The colors, the glowing items here are some of my favorite in the whole game. And there's a little spot for tarot reading if you're into that sort of thing. I could just spend all day here. I love the lighting and the aesthetic so much. I think they had a lot of really good items with this type of particular aesthetic. So that is the island of Harperia. I hope you enjoyed this tour, and I hope you got lots of ideas and inspiration from it. Big thanks to Josh and Mehdi for helping me show off the different parts of the island. This is the first time I felt like my island is finished, quote unquote, even though I'm sure I'll definitely change it up or add more things. Again, feel free to visit it at your own pace using the Dream address. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part of the island is. Thanks for watching!